So the No Bull Tour featuring Scottie Pippen, Horace Grant, and Luc Longley kicked off last night in Australia, and we'll have 2 other dates throughout this upcoming week. Now what you might ask is, what is the No Bull Tour with these 3 as the hosts? Well, it's 3 former Chicago Bulls coming together to talk about their experience with Michael Jordan and those 90s Bulls. It's also a place where these guys will let the world know their side of the story or fill in gaps that may have been glossed over or improperly conveyed in the 2020 documentary, The Last Dance. So basically, 3 nearly 60-year-olds coming together to tell most of the public what is already known or was heavily conveyed in The Last Dance. Michael Jordan was a jerk. He wasn't the greatest teammate to be around. He was hard on his teammates. He physically assaulted teammates. This was all told to us in The Last Dance, and an emotional Jordan even got teary-eyed when discussing how he was towards them. Now, I'm not going to sit here and assume what they'll be talking about, or if this is truly a smear campaign for those guys to trash Jordan's name, because I won't be in attendance, obviously, and the synopsis of this quote-unquote tour is vague at best. For us fans that grew up watching these guys, taking us into the backstage area and locker room is something we love to hear about. So in that regard, I applaud them for taking their time and doing this. We always want to hear the ins and outs of what goes on back there. The relationships, the camaraderie, the pranks, the dissension, the hate, the friendships. It's all interesting to us. I know it is to me. I just hope that this is not a 2 or 3 hour "you're a bad guy" hate fest. As we've heard from author of The Jordan Rules, Sam Smith, Horace Grant and Michael Jordan had a not so warming relationship as Bulls. We've heard the story of Jordan sucker punching Will Perdue during a practice and Horace defending Will and standing up to Jordan. Jordan liked that, and as such, kept a grudge against the power forward, and we know Jordan's not one to forgive and forget easily. Thing is, we know this, and even still, I don't believe Horace was portrayed negatively in the documentary at all. But if Horace has something on his chest after all these years, why not get it off? Luc Longley was unfortunately omitted from The Last Dance due to some financial issues of getting a crew out there, but did get a small documentary, adding his part to those Bulls teams. While Mike himself discussed how he was not so complimentary towards the big man, as again we saw in The Last Dance, Mike realized what his words and actions did. Now Scottie, I've done enough videos on this topic that I don't feel the need to open that can of worms again, but we know he took big offense to the documentary and felt that it portrayed him in a very negative light. While maybe it did, the documented segments of his career that weren't so flattering were true. He did sit out because he wasn't the one drawn up to take the last shot. He did decide to have ankle surgery at an inopportune time during the 97-98 season. These were facts. And while there's always 3 sides of a story, his side, my side, and the truth, we'll like to get his full assessment of the situation on these nights. The fact of the matter is this: Scottie nor Luc would be an NBA champion without Michael Jordan by their sides. And Horace would only have 1 ring to boast about thanks to Shaq and Kobe. On the flip side, Michael Jordan would not have 6 rings if it weren't for a combination of those guys. He said it in The Last Dance and gave Pippen the ultimate compliment by saying that when you think of him, you should think of Scottie too. Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, Horace Grant, and Luc Longley's careers are done. Outside of some illegal or heinous crimes they could say Mike did, his legend isn't going to be tarnished at all from any of this. I'm not going to say that is their motivation, but I will say I don't really understand the inspiration for doing this now. Maybe they could have done this during the Ring of Honor failure that happened in January. I don't know. I'll be checking to see what the subject matter and what the intentions are from these 3, but something tells me there's a reason they're doing this tour solely in Australia right now. Anyway, if you enjoyed the content, please like and subscribe to the channel, and check us out this week as I drop Michael Jordan's Rivals Part 3, Wizards Edition. Thank you.